Hello Homo sapiens, welcome back to my skateboarding vlogging YouTube channel. Hope you're having a fantastic day. In this video, I'm going to be going over the moments that you may be experiencing when you're skateboarding. The following moments I'm going to list consist of experiences that you may have experienced in the past when you first started skateboarding, as you began to progress a bit more in skateboarding, or even if you're experiencing it right now. So yeah, I really hope you guys enjoy this. So without further ado, let's get into this. For moment number one, it's feeling uncomfortable on your board. You can feel uncomfortable on your board in numerous ways. It could either be when you're just first starting out and you're trying to stand on a board, maybe you're trying to practice riding on a board and getting more comfortable riding it, and it's going to feel kind of weird and you're constantly going to feel off balance at first. And then in other scenarios, it could be because you're skating a different obstacle, or because you're trying a new trick and you're trying to find which position for your feet works best for you, or because you're trying a new stance. The last time that I remember being really uncomfortable on my board was skateboarding switch, and this was about 2 to 3 years ago. I've made the full commitment now to try and skate home switch for most of the time. So like after I'm done with my session, I ride partly home riding my regular stance, and then for the other part I ride going switch, and I like alternate in between. And honestly, I find that kind of fun now. Like at first it was kind of uncomfortable, but the more that I practiced and the more that I put more thought and consideration into how I can get more comfortable, it just got easier over time, to the point now where I can even do tricks in my switch stance, which I never imagined myself doing, but now I can do that. But when it comes to being uncomfortable on the board, it's going to happen like that plenty of times. Whether you're trying something new or trying to like tune your craft a little bit, there will be some type of uneasiness and you will feel somewhat uncomfortable, but the more you practice it, the more you'll be able to adapt to it and it will become a lot easier. For moment number two, it's beginning to understand a trick more and being able to try it the way that works best for you, or just skating in a way that just works best for you. At the end of the day, everyone who skateboards has their own type of style and their own way of doing tricks. So one person may do a trick one way and one person may do it another way. But the key here is to honestly find what's best for you and just to truly figure out how you would do it. Because at the end of the day, no one else is going to do it for you but you. Say for backside flips. Me, I was struggling with backside flips for about a year, and I just recently got back into them. I was able to land them more, and I was able to get a better concept of that trick. And when it comes to skateboarding, being able to have trial and error is good with skating, and it helps you learn. But if you actually choose to critique yourself and see what you're doing wrong, that's where it goes a long way. If you're just endlessly trying it over and over again, not really understanding what you're doing wrong and figuring out how to fix it, that's gonna be your downfall. For me and backside flips, it was super duper hard for me to find a comfortable foot position for my front foot. I wanted to be able to find a foot position for my front foot to where I can flick it like a kick flip, like to where I can be comfortable doing the backside flip and not have to like do some like weird movements with my foot to make the backside flip work. I wanted to make it comfortable to a point where I don't struggle too much to land the trick, and I find a comfortable position that works best for me. Because if I have a very uncomfortable foot position trying that trick, I'm not gonna get it right. But if I have a position that works best for me and finding a way that honestly makes me more comfortable doing it, then I'm just gonna do it like that. And that honestly goes a really long way. Like being able to understand the trick more and being able to know what you're doing wrong, and adding both of those things together really makes a difference. So I'm glad that I've been able to put that into my mind and put that into my perspective, and I hope that you guys can do the same. For moment number three, it's those moments where you get hurt, when you least expect it or when you think you expect it. For me, when I expected it to happen, I think it wasn't really because I knew that it was going to happen. I think it was because I thought about it happening mentally, and then because of that, it manifested in real life. For example, with backside flips again, when I first tried them, was it the first day that I ever landed one? When I was practicing backside flips weeks or days before, the reason why I could never get close to doing it because I kept on flicking my front foot out in a certain way, because I knew, yes, I knew in my head that if I tried to flick it a certain way, I was gonna get a shinner. And because I kept thinking of those thoughts, when I actually tried to commit to it and not flick it a certain way to avoid the shinner. When I tried to actually flick it normally, how I would for a real kickflip, I ended up getting a shinner like 5 to 7 times that day, and it hurt like hell. Like, me personally, I think I'm beginning to realize now that if I choose to think that way mentally, it's going to manifest physically and in real life. So that was on me. Thankfully now, I don't really think that way that much with backside flips, so now I just basically land on the board. If I do get a shinner, it's when I like least expect it, and I never really think it's going to happen. And then when it comes to getting hurt on other things, it would either be me landing primo, or just eating crap, or just slipping out in general. I have a couple of other examples. When I was trying to front 180 a 5 stair, I don't know what the hell I did this one time, but for some reason, I guess like slid my foot up the wrong way. Instantly went primo, landed, and like I just like hit the ground. Actually no, like first I hit my board and then I hit the ground and I landed on my elbow. Luckily I wasn't that badly injured. I was just like a little bit sore, maybe not even a bruise. Or one time when I tried to kickflip a 3 stair and I landed primo that time. I didn't really expect that so much at all, but thankfully it was a 3 stair, so it didn't hurt that much. Or when I tried to 50-50 a hubba, I accidentally locked into a feeble, I just like slipped out and then slammed on the flat. That wasn't really too bad either, cause like I can't really predict when it's going to happen. If I choose to mentally believe it's gonna happen, then it will. But like if I don't believe and it just happens and it happens, oh well, there's not really much that I can do about that. So getting hurt, hey, it is what it is. It happens. It's not the end of the world. I'm trying to install that in my brain a little bit more, and yeah, getting hurt is just a part of it, man. For number 4, with skateboarding, it's being able to see the world differently. And I typically mean this with street skating in a more specific way, but I'll explain that. Normal people see a stair set as something to walk up and down. Me, I see it like that too, but I also see it as a way to skate. I could either skate down that stair set, I could skate up that stair set. I'm thinking of every single trick that I could probably try doing down that stair set that day or later in the future. Some people see a curb as just, something to walk up and down, or just something to park your car next to. Me? Well, I see it like that too. But I also see it as a ledge to where I could try doing nose slides, tail slides, 50-50 grinds, feebles, Smith grinds, you name it. Like being able to skate in the streets and just being able to skateboard in general has opened my eyes to the architecture that this world has to offer based on the buildings and stuff, and just being able to skate that, it really shows creativity and it changes your whole perspective on everything around you, and it gives you more of an aspect of adventure. I think that's one of the greatest feelings of them all. For moment number 5, it's when you begin to realize that the fear is not that bad. For me, I overthink things a lot, so when it comes to me in skateboarding, I at times will be constantly anxious and have some type of fear, but most of the times, if not sometimes, I'm able to push through and honestly try to give it my all no matter what. I've been reading this book called The Magic of Thinking Big. If you watch my celebrating 2 years of YouTube video, then you probably know what I'm talking about. I was reading into it. It says that if you constantly hesitate when you're afraid of something, the fear is only going to grow more. And I know that's kind of obvious in a way, like honestly, oftentimes I've told myself that. There's a difference between telling yourself something and then beginning to manifest it into reality. And that's what I try doing. And I know I've mentioned this like 1,000 times already, but sometimes when it comes to me skating stair sets, I overthink things too much. And there was one time, I think like a week or 2 ago, I was trying some trick down and I'm like, you know what? As nervous as I am, as anxious as I am, the fear's not gonna go away unless I try and figure it out, unless I try and do it. So screw it, do it, see if it works. I kicked my board out one time and then I got it on like my 2nd try. Super clean, super good pop, super nice slide, everything. And I landed, I rolled away, and I was like, damn, that shit actually worked. Like, as if I haven't done it so many times already. I think another thing with fear that I'm also beginning to realize is that I think I need to build this type of habit. If I'm constantly looking at something and like constantly hesitating about it, I'm going to hesitate more and more. But if I choose to give it my all and try to send it within the first couple of tries, I say maybe like 1 to 3, if not maybe just even the first go, it'll become a lot easier for me. I won't have to waste so much time trying to get over the fear. So that's something that I want to work on, and I hope that's something that hopefully you guys can figure out as well if you're going through with that. For moment number 6, it's just when things aren't going right. You're having a hard time landing your tricks, you're having a hard time just skateboarding in general. I used to have days like these, and sometimes I still do. It's not really that often though, and I guess it's not really as bad as it used to when I started out as a beginner. Like, for example, when I was a beginner, I would start to get ollies down really well one day. And then the next day, or the next time that I have a session, I can't even land one really good consistent one. And honestly, that sucks. Like it's like being able to have progress and being able to improve, and then for some reason, the next time you try doing that, you're not as good at it, and you're just struggling to even do it once, and you're beginning to honestly like ask yourself why. Like, I worked my butt off for this, I'm working my ass off, I tried it, why isn't it working? And if I'm being honest with you, this still happens to me now. For example, there's one time, I think it was a couple of months ago, I could not do a single kickflip or a heel flip that day. I couldn't. I just sucked at them for like no reason. Or maybe just because I was just having an off day, or maybe I was doing something wrong but I wasn't really thinking about it too much, and honestly, it was frustrating. I had one of two choices. I could either walk away and just say, hey, you know, I had a bad skate day, it's whatever, you know, oh well, I'll just do better next time. Or I could seize the opportunity and say, hey, it's a beautiful day outside, the weather is kind of nice, let me try learning a new trick, or let me just goof off, or just, you know, or just do something else. And I did do that one day. I remember I tried doing like a nose pick on a curb, and I made a video about it, and people really seemed to like it. From that point forward, I think I began to realize that it's better for me to make the best out of a situation than just take the worst and just walk away with that. Cause like, I can nose pick. I can actually do a nose pick. I landed it like 3 times that day. Really good, really consistent, really clean. So, who knows, maybe someday in the future, when I try them again, I'll go back at it. Maybe I'll try doing it in like a different way. Maybe I'll try doing a certain grab. Maybe I'll try holding it one way or another. Who knows, maybe I'll even do like a finger flip out of it. Like, honestly, if some tricks don't work for me, and it's just not happening that day, sometimes I just choose to work on something else. And by me doing that, I'm able to progress in a way in which I never thought that I possibly could before. And I think that's something that's really beautiful, and something that we could all take when it comes to skateboarding. And for number 7, being able to grow and progress. And I'm not just going to say growing and progressing on the board, I mean growing and progressing in just all sorts of life in general. Like, skateboarding to me, it brightens my soul. Like, whenever I'm having like a bad day, or nothing is going right for me, like not skateboarding related, I just go out, I go skate, and the pain just goes away. I literally just skate the pain away. I feel at ease, I feel less bothered, I feel less annoyed, and I can channel all of that negative energy and all of those bad vibes and turn it into good vibes. Or being able to grow outside of skateboarding, in an example to where one time I was doing AP government, and I didn't feel like studying for a quiz. I was being hella freaking lazy about it. I failed horribly, and I was super duper pissed, and I'm like, why? Why did I choose to fail? I basically set myself up for failure. I could have gone over more of the notes, I could have studied more. I chose not to bother. I kind of believed in a way that I was probably going to fail, and thus I did. And I was pissed the hell off. Luckily, I emailed my teacher. She gave us a second chance, me and my other classmates. I'm like, you know what? Let me not mess this up. Let me study this time. Got 100. Got 100. Perfect score the next time. I realized that I chose to fail. I didn't have to though. If I choose to believe that I'm going to fail, it's going to happen. If I believed that I was going to pass or do really good on something, then I was going to most likely do great. I remember I walked into the classroom that day and I told my teacher, expect at least a 90 out of me. I got more than that. I got 100. I was super duper happy, and I'm like, I redeemed myself. Redemption. And it felt good. You know, being able to take certain life lessons that I gained from skateboarding by choosing to believe that I can do a certain trick or skate a certain obstacle or doing that thing that I've wanted to do for so long. and believing that I can do it, and then taking that and then applying that to other parts of life, it's a really beautiful thing. Like, it changes my life in general, it changes my perspective, and it makes me want to be better in all aspects of my life. Skateboarding taught me that, and that's what's beautiful about it. Let me know what types of moments you had in skateboarding in the comments below, how you dealt with it, and how you were able to grow from it, or just how it changed your perspective on life in general. And that basically wraps it up for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. This was a video that I didn't really have that much motivation to make that first, but after I planned it out and really developed a good idea of how I was going to execute it, I'm kind of glad that I made this video, and I hope that this is able to inspire you guys, and I hope that you're able to take something from this video and take it with you as you go on in life. I keep saying the word life a lot. I'm gonna go do my thing, and see you guys later. Bye.